Shalom. Anthony Bourdain has this show on CNN where he goes to visit places around the world and he discusses the cooking and kind of a chef show, but on the side you learn a lot about the place. Well, he just did one on Jerusalem that was a complete hatchet job of the state of Israel. It was pathetic and disgusting. Now, he's Jewish on his mother's side. Instead of spending the time in Jerusalem, he basically spends the time with radical Arab Muslims who one guy openly says he wants to kill all the Jews. And he keeps talking about portraying Israel in a terrible way. So I just want to set the facts straight, Anthony Bourdain, about what the real situation is. First of all, I'm recording this on Erev Christmas, December 24th, and they're talking about the Christians in Bethlehem. The only place where Christians are safe in the whole Middle East with all those Muslims is the state of Israel. The only place. Everywhere else they're being killed, driven out, forced out. The only place a Christian can be safe. So maybe you don't care about Christians. You seem to be very sympathetic to the Palestinians who want to kill Israelis, but that's the reality. Number two, you failed to mention that they are not interested in the West Bank and Gaza. They are interested in all of Israel. Just think about the PLO when it was formed in 1964. That was before the 67 war. What did they want to liberate? They don't have Israel on their map. Abbas has said continuously he has no interest in living side by side with a Jewish state. They've turned down two Israeli prime ministers' offer of a sovereign Palestinian entity, Ehud Omer and Ehud Barak, because they are never going to settle for peace with Israel. They have no interest in that. The Muslims want every Jew out of there and Israel gone and every Jew dead. And they are just waiting until it happens. Iran's open about it. Israel won't be here in 25 years, they say. Well, if you talk to Palestinians seriously, that's what they'll say. And you completely ignore the fact that Jews have been there for 4,000 years. All you kept talking about was the Palestinians who can't go back to their home. Well, first of all, most of that's fictitious. This figure that 80% of them came from some place that's now Israel is totally wrong. There's a wonderful book by the late Joan Peters called From Time Immemorial, where she went through all of the documents and all of the history and demonstrates conclusively that a huge percentage of the people that call themselves Palestinian actually came from other places when they saw that Israel was prospering under Jewish authority. The Palestinians are a made-up, phony people. They never existed in history. The history of the term is that the area was called Judea after the tribe of Judah, and the Romans changed it to Philistina, Palestine, after the Philistines, an ancient sea people that had no connection to the Middle East because they wanted to Judaize the intense connection. There was never a Palestinian flag, a Palestinian nation, a Palestinian people. The only Palestinians were Jews. The Jerusalem Post was called the Palestinian Post. The chief rabbi of Israel before 1948 was called the chief rabbi of Palestine. It's a joke. The Soviets and the Arabs made up these Palestinian people to just harass Israel. So there's no notion ever of and the idea that they're living on Palestinian land, according to who? No UN resolution said that. It's disputed territory. And the land that Israel is now occupying, although 98% of the people of the authority there is under Palestinian authority, that land was the land of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all of the Bible. Just read the Bible. It was Jews, Jewish land. Jews live there. And Israel just wants to have enough security to be able to survive in a very hostile neighborhood. And if you take away the West Bank, the Judea and Samaria, Israel's 9 miles wide. 9 miles from the Jordan to the West Bank area to the Mediterranean. That's the danger. And so when we think about all of this, see that what a hatchet job Anthony Bourdain did, just portraying Israel as these evil occupiers and the poor Palestinian people, when there was never a Palestinian people. They were just created to harass Israel. Jews have lived there for 4,000 years. Guess how many Arab countries there are? 21. And they have 1,000 times more land than Israel does. Guess how many Muslim countries there are? 65. Is there room in this world for one tiny little Jewish state which does so much to help the world under very difficult circumstances of many nations wanting to destroy them? Anthony Bourdain just did a hatchet job. He should be ashamed of himself. And CNN for allowing that to run.